All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this one. Now, if y'all haven't seen my video from yesterday where Letitia James got busted after we find out she stole $41,000 from taxpayers using taxpayer funds to go on lavish trips, didn't report on it. And this was the same woman that was calling Donald Trump a fraud, trying to put the man in jail and stuff like that. Had him in cold courtroom with a corrupt judge in Goron smirking behind his back. And come to find out that this woman is a fraud. She already been hit with mortgage fraud. And not only that, her own tenants is complaining about her, and we about to get ready to get into it. So please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody who watched my last video. I really appreciate it. A lot of y'all let me know in the comment section that y'all did stay to the end. Hopefully this video right here, y'all please stay to the end. It definitely helps get the video out there, and let me know in the comment section that you did watch the entire video. I would really appreciate it. We gonna keep exposing Letitia James as more news come out, because you gotta remember, this woman put President Trump through you know what. Lying on him, trying to get him in prison, smirking, laughing, trying to make him pay a $500 million fine. We ain't forgot about none of that. So we about to put her on Front Street, the same way she was trying to do President Trump. So like I said, right now, she is in hot water. So like I said, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive straight into this. Say breaking news, Letitia James exposed by her own tenants amid explosive fraud. Because we already know she already been hit with mortgage fraud. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this article, all right? So as y'all can see on the screen, it say breaking tenants complaint surfaced just 48 hours after FHFA refers Letitia James to DOJ. And what they talking about now is that the tenants is complaining that she ain't even fixing them buildings. She's it's a lot of people saying that they got bed bugs. She won't do anything about it. The wall is peeling. It's like she ain't doing anything about it. Roaches running everywhere. I mean, stuff just falling apart, and all she doing is collecting money, and she ain't fixing anything. So I think they said she had over 16 to 20 people complaining about it, and she won't do anything about it. But yet she's going after President Trump though. Now she want to call the claims baseless because she been caught. Y'all know what they always do when they get caught. The first thing they say is, oh, Donald Trump is on a revenge tour. He only coming after me because he want revenge. It ain't got nothing to do with revenge. When you did wrong, you did wrong. You got caught. What you were trying to put on President Trump, you was the one doing it. That's exactly what was going on. You was doing what you were trying to accuse President Trump of. So, as we see right here, it say, for years, New York Attorney General Letitia James has built a reputation as a fearless prosecutor of landlords and fraudsters, but recent events suggest that the very standards she exposes on others are being violated in her own backyard. 2 former complaints was filed on April 16th against James' Brooklyn property at 296 Lafayette Avenue, citing deterioration of paint conditions. The filings appeared in the NYC HPD database just 48 hours after the Federal Housing Finance Agency referred James to the DOJ for possible mortgage fraud and perjury. So she the one that's been caught, but yet she ain't helping none of these people who having problems in these apartment buildings that she already lied about. Saying it was 5 when it was saying it was it's pretty much, she's saying it's 4, but it was really 5. So she stood up there and just lied. That's just mortgage fraud in itself. So it said the proximity of these tenant complaints to the FHFA's criminal referral is striking. The FHFA letter dated April 14, 2025 and addressed to U.S. Attorney General Pamela J. Bundy outlined serious allegations against James. In the letter, FHFA Director William J. Poole states that James allegedly falsified bank documents and property records to acquire government-backed assistance and loans and more favorable loan terms for both her Virginia and Brooklyn properties. This referral was basically largely on information originally published in this blog, including a comprehensive expose that lays out the case against James in detail. Now we'll pop it up so y'all can kind of see it right there a little bit better. If you can see it on the screen, pretty much just showing like the apartment numbers, the date that the tenants made the complaint, which was April 16th, 2025. And it said the complaint condition was the wall. The complaint was the peeling. The wall peeling, roaches, bed bugs, everything. And she ain't doing nothing about it. Like, this woman don't care. She'd rather spend her time pretty much trying to go after President Trump instead of trying to help these people that she's renting these apartments to. Like I said, this woman is a freaking liar. That's all she do. And we're going to call it out over here. We ain't going to hold back. She didn't hold back on President Trump, and I'm not going to hold back on her either. I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back at all. So we dive straight into it and say, just 2 days later, tenant complaints surfaced in the HPD database. The complaint specifically cite peeling paint in apartment 2B's living room and throughout the apartment 1 at her 296 Lafayette Avenue property. Veteran real estate journalist Lois Weiss brought these violations to my attention. After connecting these documents with the FHFA referring letter, a concerning pattern emerged. This timing raises questions about whether Jane's tenants previously hesitant to file formal grievances now feel emboldened as their landlord faces mounting legal scrutiny. NYC Housing Preservation and Development database showing tenant complaints filed on April 16, 2025 against Letitia James' property. Note that inspectors were not able to gain access to inspect these conditions. So it says sources suggest that the unrest isn't confined to Jane's tenants. This content is reportedly growing inside her own office. Career staffers uncomfortable with the widening scandal are considering coming forward. Some may already be in contact with law enforcement as the case against James expands. Don't be surprised if whistleblowers from inside the AG's office go public or provide sealed testimony. And I hope that happens. I hope they just go ahead and expose her. This woman is a liar. I'm going to keep saying it. She ran on saying, I'm going to get President Trump. I'm going to take him down. This is what she ran on.
What is fueling my soul right now is Trump.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, and then going home.
I know my name personally.
So guess what? It's time for you to go down because your own tenants done turned on you. You're a liar. You're a fraud. You even said that you marry your own father. What person does that? What person try to get a better tax rate by saying, I married my own father? This is what she said. She married her own father. They're like, that is just sick. So they say Letitia James has long fashioned herself as a crusader for justice, especially when it comes to housing abuses and financial misrepresentation. But the growing stack of allegations include the fraudulent classification of her Brooklyn apartment as a 4-unit when city records show 5. So she had 5, but she said she had 4. And we know the reason why she did that. The undeclared Virginia principal residence and missing mortgage disclosure suggests a stark double standard. The FHFA refers specifically cites that James claimed her Virginia property would be her primary residence despite being required by law to maintain New York residency as the state attorney general. The letter also notes that spanning the last 2 decades, Ms. James has consistently misrepresented the Brooklyn property as only having 4 units in various documents. See, that's what I'm talking about, with just straight lying. But yet she want to call Donald Trump a liar. Ain't that somebody want to call somebody else a liar or a fraud, but yet they are what they trying to accuse somebody of. Her office prosecuted Donald Trump for misstatements and real estate filings, securing a $355 million judgment. Now Jane faces similar allegations from multiple angles, including complaints from her own tenants that expose potential neglect of her property's maintenance obligations, and yet she still want to say Donald Trump just on a revenge tour. This is people that's renting from you complaining. That has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This is people that's renting from you that's airing you out. With former tenant complaints now on record in the FHFA's criminal referral in the hands of the Department of Justice, the next few weeks could see a dramatic escalation. The HPD complaints showed that 2 different units in her building reported peeling paint on the same day, potentially indicating a building-wide maintenance issue rather than isolated incidents. Oh, man. Imagine renting from Letitia James. What's particularly telling is that according to the official HPD record, inspectors were unable to gain access to the property. A system of the Department of Housing Preservation and Development was not able to gain access to inspect the conditions. If the conditions still exist and an inspection is required, please contact the borough office with your complaint number. Pretty much they put in the complaint number. If you have a problem with this, which a lot of people do who stay in that building, because she just ignoring them. She don't even care about the bed bugs. She don't care about the roaches. She don't care about the peeling paint and stuff like that. This failed inspection attempt raises serious questions about whether James or her representation are avoiding official documentation of housing violations, the very type of conduct her office routinely prosecutes other landlords for. And remember what she did to other landlords, but yet look what she's doing. She feel like she's above the law, but yet she always say Donald Trump thinks he is above the law. Y'all remember she always said that? He's not above the law. I don't care if he's the president. I don't care about this. But she thinks she's above the law. You can sue other landlords for the stuff right here that your tenants is going through. So you need to be sued right now. You need to be sued right now. If you're wondering whether a palace revolt is brewing inside Letitia James' office, you're not alone. As inspectors attempt to gain access to a property and federal authorities review the criminal referral, the story is far from over. As I stated in my recent Newsmax interview, I will hold her personally accountable for these alleged fraudulent activities that have now drawn federal attention. Salute to Sam Antar, because, man, he been on it. Salute to him. Now, we're going to get to where he was talking about in the Newsmax interview, because he's going to expose even more of that. So we're going to go ahead and dive straight into this video, and you can see what this person said, that Letitia James a slumlord. Slumlord Letitia James forensic accountant Sam Antar returns with a major update surrounding the alleged mortgage fraud scheme by New York attorney Letitia James. So let's go ahead and dive straight into this, and y'all going to hear him even expose her even more. She's going to jail. Letitia James is done. Let's go ahead and dive straight into this.
Back last week, we spoke to the man who dug up all the dirt on Tish James and just the incredible hypocrisy of the New York Attorney General that went after Trump for nothing and has all this filth on her. Forensic accountant, former felon turned FBI good guy Sam Antar, an interview that has gone globally viral. The president shared it on his social media, and tonight Sam Antar is back on set with us. Updates on this bombshell investigation. Sam, good to have you back on.
Salute to Sam Antar.
Obviously, the story is huge because people, they have some kind of way of feeling about this woman, especially after what she tried to do to the now president of the United States. But let's talk about the Brooklyn residence. She bought this about 25 years ago. You exposed last week the certificate of occupancy shows it's a 5-unit property. She posed it as a 4 in a manner to get probably better interest rates, to get a better deal for herself, which of course is fraud.
Yep.
Since then, we've had 2 formal complaints filed against the property, claiming that the occupancy certificate doesn't match what it actually is. And the New York City Department of Building has now verified that. Is that
yes.
right?
New York
tell
City
us about that.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
The New York City Department of Buildings has verified that it is 5 units, the same 5 units that it's always said it was. Now, on top of that, the electric meters to the building, there are 6, 1 for common areas, one for
Now, if y'all think about this woman been lying for 25 years. Lying, saying she was married to her father to get a better tax rate. Lying, said that she only had 4 apartment building when she had 5. She been lying all these years, but had the galls to go after President Trump and call him a fraud when you know you a fraud yourself, because you were trying to get him to try to cover up what you was doing. That's exactly what you was doing. Now that you've been caught, now what? You're done.
Each apartment, still 5, another verification.
Yeah.
And also now the tenants are starting to complain. They feel empowered by what's happening. Just 2 days after, 2 days after William Pulte's referral letter
right.
to the,
head of the
Department,
to
the head of the Department of Justice, 2 tenants complained about peeling paint in their apartments. The paint is flaking faster than the credibility. In other words, in New York, you have to every 3rd year you have to paint an apartment. Yeah. Evidently, she didn't. Otherwise, I had never seen flaking paint. I live in New York.
That's crazy.
I didn't pay. My landlord didn't pay my apartment for 6 years, and I didn't get
taking it on all ends now.
Right.
I mean, we reached out to the DOJ over the status of this criminal referral, because this has been referred.
Now, as y'all can see on the screen, that's when President Trump was in court, and she was always sitting behind him on the left, just staring at him, knowing she was lying on him. All because she ran on saying, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. And this is what she did every time President Trump showed up to court. Sitting behind him, smirking, laughing, telling people outside, I'm going to sue him. I'm going to get him. And this is what she was doing. Now look at her.
Yes.
To the DOJ by another agency, a criminal referral on the New York Attorney General for this fraud. They said they're not going to respond on a current criminal referral. They're not going to give us an update on that. But mortgage fraud, pretty serious crime. That's up to 30 years in prison, up to $1 million in fines. Obviously, I don't think she's going to go away for any amount of time, anywhere close to that. But we're dealing with crimes that could lock her up.
Yes, absolutely. And the statute of limitations hasn't told on most of her crimes, so she's in deep trouble.
It's something else. Looking at this thing, what you see as far as what you dug up, I mean, if all of that, if they push all that onto her, what do you think happens to Tish James? I mean, is she going to stay in this position? Is she going to survive this?
I think that Hochul will eventually push her out and appoint a new attorney general.
Push her out.
In the state of New York, yes.
Probably dump the charges, but push her out of the job. Is that what you expect to happen?
No, I expect Hochul to push her out of the job. Yeah. Because Hochul's got to distance herself from her. See, here's the problem. The problem with Tish James is it's a 40-year pattern. It's not a one-off. It's not a gotcha where, oh, you made one mistake or whatever. It's inexcusable what she did.
Right, because, let's go over
every
it real
single
quick.
Mortgage document is a lie.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the Brooklyn property or
Yep.
two Virginia properties.
Yeah.
Yep, and guess what? She calls all these claims baseless. Oh, they just want to go after me. This is what Letitia James is saying. See, the thing is, when she say that that nobody's above the law, she feel like she the only one. Cause y'all never hear Letitia James say, "Well, I'm not above the law either." She always want to point that at somebody else, preferably Trump. She always say, "Trump, you ain't above the law," but yet she thinks she is. That's why something has to be done. Cause after all this thing came out, if nothing be done, she gonna continue to try to just go after President Trump because she feel like nothing can happen to her. So something needs to be done. Whether she get pushed out, go to jail, she need to go to jail. That's what she need to go. Because this ain't just no one time. She been doing it for the last 25 years, lying. This is what she's been doing. She's been a fraud for the last 25 years.
Every single financial report, better yet, every single financial report she has filed with the state of New York as she was supposed to under the law since 2019 has been false. Has omitted key information.
I mean, I know you have a colorful past, and can you believe that this woman had the audacity to do what she did to Donald Trump, knowing what she had done in her past? I mean, that's like sociopathic.
When you're doing crime, you got to keep a low profile on certain things. That's the lesson that I learned back in the day. I don't know why she thought she'd get away with this forever. Mm-hmm. The better question is why wasn't it caught 10 years ago, 15 years ago, etc.?
Yeah.
Why is it coming out today?
Well, I think it's coming out today because she went to the ends of the earth to try and manufacture a crime out of something that every developer in New York does.
I only started following her by accident.
Yeah.
I was doing other New York City politicians, and she was just on the list.
She was, and that's how it happened.
That's how it happened.
It didn't have anything to do with what she threw at Trump?
No, I had that.
You just like digging into these things.
No offense, I'm a Democrat, okay?
Yeah.
And think about that. He a Democrat and did that. So they can't say, oh, he's a Trump supporter. He said he's a Democrat. Now, even if he's a Democrat, I don't know if he really supports Trump. Pretty sure if he's a Democrat, he probably don't. But he's a Democrat, so they can't use, oh, he's a Republican, he's MAGA. There's a reason why Donald Trump using him to go after Letitia. No, you can't say that.
The point being is that for months I've been writing about other subjects and other politicians. Yeah. She was just another person on the list. I didn't target her for anything. She was just part of a long process of her.
So there we go right there. Salute to Sam Antar. And like I said, I will bring y'all more evidence. There's going to be even more evidence coming out. So y'all, please stay tuned. Shout out to the ones who just made it to the end of the video. I really, really appreciate it. Thank y'all very much for that. But we're going to continue to expose Letitia James for the fraud she is. All right. So like I said, thank you all for watching. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.